Shaw with Pink and Maine. Thanks so much for joining me today. We're going to be making some fun winter-themed cards with our Snowman Peekers stamps and dies. So let's jump right in and get started. The first card we're going to create is a side fold A2 card, but we're going to turn it horizontally so it actually opens up from the bottom. I've got some fun papers cut from our Cozy Winter paper pad, some beautiful winter colors. I've got purple snowflake piece that's cut just slightly smaller, 1/8 of an inch smaller than your A2 card. And then I used our stitched rounded rectangle dies, gives that nice rounded edge with the stitching along the inside. I cut with one of those rectangles this colorful snowflake piece. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these down to my card base. I've got my Easy Squeeze craft glue. We're going to do just a little bit of foiling. I've got my Pink and Maine mini mink machine set on number 3. And I've got this happy winter sentiment from our Snowfall Foilables cut-ups. So it's already pre-cut for us in that little rounded rectangle little strip. I'm just going to dust it off with our foil dusting brush. And I've got a piece of our Fairy Wings silver. It's a really pretty silver foil with a holographic finish, and we're going to run that through the mink machine. I've got a transfer folder to put that into. I just want to make sure I'm putting my foil pretty side up. With the silver foils, it's a little harder to see the pretty side because they're both silver on the front and the back, but one is going to be shinier and more metallic finish than the other, and that's the top pretty side. That's run through the machine. We're going to give it a few seconds to cool off. You want it cool to the touch before you pull the foil off. In the meantime, I've got about a 1.5 inch strip of our white holographic cardstock. See that beautiful glitzy little glittery white holographic on a white background? It's super sparkly and shiny and I love it. And then I have a strip of our middle school blue cardstock at about 1 inch, and I'm going to glue that down. And then we'll glue these to the card base. Just over to the left-hand side. And those are the same height as the width of my rounded rectangle snowflake piece. Okay, let's do the peel and reveal on our sentiment. gorgeous. Look at that. Beautiful, happy winter. And remember, you can always take this piece here, the negative foil piece that says Happy Winter, and foil that onto a solid toner sheet. I want to grab some of our foam tape. It's our giant foam tape roll. It has 108 feet on it. I want a piece for the back of our sentiments. We can pop that up off the card for a little dimension. And I also want to add some to our Snowman peeker. So let's see how we're going to add. I'm going to put our Snowman peeker right there on the side of our blue strip with the Happy Winter down here at the bottom. Love that. Here's our card so far. I love that foiled sentiment down there. Look at the snowman. He's like peeking around the edge of the paper. I think the last thing I want to add is some of our sticky gems. And I'm going to add some of our mother of pearl sticky gems. Beautiful iridescent white finish to these. There we go, our finished card. I like these little sticky gems just to highlight the sentiment down there at the bottom. Very nice. For our next card, we're going to make a mini slimline card. But we're going to make a shaker card, so it's going to be lots of fun. We're going to be doing a little bit of foiling as well. I've got some twine here to add to the card, so lots of fun elements in this one. Let's get our foiling done first. So I've got a nice snowflake background here. It's from one of our winter foilable sheets. Can't remember the exact name of the pack it comes from. And I've got a piece of our satin aqua foil to put on that. Beautiful satin finish to this foil. I'm going to run that through the mini ink machine, folded side in first. While that runs through, we'll take a look. I've got a snowflake that coordinates with the background and the sentiment Warm Winter Wishes. And these are from our Snowfall foilable cut-ups. So they come pre-cut for you, ready to foil and add to your cards. If you haven't tried our cut-ups yet, I highly recommend them. They're super simple and easy to foil and add to your cards. You get a beautiful foiled finish with no cutting necessary. So let's foil those. I've got another piece of satin aqua. I think I'll do the snowflake with that so it coordinates with our background. And then our Warm Winter Wishes, I've got Fairy Wings Silver, that beautiful holographic silver. And I can put them both in the folder at the same time. I'm just going to flip it over so I can make sure that both pieces are covered and that they're not overlapping. And we can put them in upside down and watch them go through in case they shift or move. I just support it here underneath the folder as they go through so they don't slide or fall. While those are going through, let's take a look at our background piece. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that. So now we've got that pattern in the foil. We can use it on a solid toner sheet and make something really pretty. I'm going to pull these pieces out of the transfer folder, but I'm going to let them cool off before I do the peel and reveal. Let's take a look at our background panel. Isn't that gorgeous with those satin aqua snowflakes? Beautiful. So we're going to be making a shaker card, as I mentioned. We're going to be using one of our full-size shaker covers. Our full-size shaker covers have a protective film on one side of them, the top side, and that's to keep them from getting scratched or messed up. But you have to remove the protective film, as it reminds you there in the corner. So the tool I like to use is our pick up and place tool, because it has a pokey tool on one side. It's kind of sharp. Be careful with it. But I can go right under where that sticker is in the corner, and I can kind of scratch at that protective film till I get it started. There you can see I've got it started now, and I can just peel it away, and then we'll throw this protective cover away. So it's more than just the sticker. There's a clear protective coating on the whole shaker panel. So now I'm going to flip this over and lay it down flat on my table. I've got the adhesive side facing up. I want to put my background piece in the center of the shaker panel. Okay, and I'm going to hold it there with one hand. I'm going to peel the release paper from one of the strips of adhesive on the side. And then I'm going to fold that over onto the panel. Remember to hold the panel in the center so it doesn't shift or move. And then you adhere that one side down. Now, one thing I forgot to do that I always like to do, so we'll go ahead and do it now, is I like to pre-fold these sides in towards the back. Let's go ahead and pre-fold the rest of them without removing the release paper from the adhesive. We're just kind of getting them pre-folded so that they fold in easily for us. So we can fold it back out a little bit. I'm going to go to the opposite side that I just did. I'm going to hold that panel flat down to the table. And again, I'm going to just fold over this flap and adhere it down. We're going to do that one more time, so we're doing a 3 total to start out. One more of the ends. Remove the release paper and fold it down over that panel. I still hold it down to the table so it's nice and flat. And now we've created our shaker pocket. See how we have it open on one end? We've got our little pocket. So now we can add our confetti, our sequins, whatever little shaker bits you'd like to add to the inside. I've already opened up a package of this is our sea glass sequin confetti. It's real pretty, light blues, light greens, and it matches the pattern paper that we're using for this card perfectly. So I thought it would be a great addition to this shaker card. I'm going to use the rest of it. I've used it for one card before. You can put as little or as much as you'd like. So we've got quite a bit in there. And I'm just going to go back over to the back, and we're going to take the release paper off that last flap of adhesive and hold it flat down to the table and fold it over again. Now we have our fun little shaker pocket with those beautiful foiled snowflakes in the background. Okay, next, let's not forget to peel and reveal our beautiful snowflake. Check that out, gorgeous. And we've got that snowflake pattern in our foil now. We can use that for another card if we want. And then our sentiment. Oh, beautiful. Nothing magical here. You saw me put it in the transfer folder, add the foil to the top, run it through our mini ink machine on setting 3, and it just comes out gorgeous just about every time. So the next thing I'm going to do is I've got a piece of our white holographic cardstock again, that beautiful glitzy glittery paper, and then I cut a piece of the plaid from the Cozy Winter paper pad, so we're just going to see a little bit of that holographic paper along the sides. This is about 2.5 inches wide, and this one would be a 1/4 inch thinner, so 2.25 inches wide, and they are the width of the shaker pocket, which is 3.5 inches. So I'm going to glue them together, but I'm not going to glue them to the pocket quite yet. So now we have our little plaid piece. We've got our snowflake, our warm winter wishes. I'm just going to kind of put these together a little bit on how I'd like them to look. We've got our snowman peeker. It's right there. Got a snowflake, warm winter wishes, kind of all anchoring on that little plaid strip. We've got the plaid strip so that everything has a place to live and anchor to the card. You want everything to anchor to your card. You don't want stuff floating around. We don't want Snowman just sitting in the middle of the card like that. That doesn't look right. You know, with the sentiment here, they're just kind of floating. We don't want things floating on the card. We want to anchor them to the card. So we're going to use our pattern paper strip to anchor everything to the card. And always keep in mind your colors and patterns and how they will all work together. So I've got the greens and the blues in the plaid, which match the greens and the blues and the sequins, which also match our satin aqua snowflakes, the satin aqua and the silver sentiment that we created, along with our snowman peeker that I've colored with aqua and a little green. So just keep in mind all the colors that you're putting together, how they coordinate and match. I've also got some of our twine. This is our cobblestone twine. It's a nice gray. I've got 6 pieces of it cut, so I'm going to use 3 to put across that plaid strip of paper. And I like to use a tape runner just on the back of that strip just to hold my twine in the back. So I've just got 3 strips of twine, and I'm just wrapping them at the top of my plaid piece and around the back at the bottom, just like so. So I've just wrapped it around and it's sticking to the adhesive just like that. Now we're ready to glue this piece onto our shaker card. I'm just going to lay my scissors on that and let that dry for a moment. So here's our shaker cover so far. I'm going to go ahead and add our easy tear tape to the back of our shaker cover. I love our easy tear tape because just as it says in the name, it's easy to tear by hand. You don't have to grab your scissors out and get them all sticky and gunky with adhesive. And even though you can tear it by hand, it's a super strong adhesive. So now let's adhere the pocket to our card base. Also, even though the Easy Tear tape is a super strong adhesive, that release paper comes off so easily. Just line it up and add it to our card. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to add the other elements to our card. We've got our snowman peeker. We've got another snowflake and our sentiment, warm winter wishes. I think I want to pop up some of those elements with the foam tape. Maybe we'll pop up that snowflake too, just because it's right on the edge of that twine. And I think it'll look good just popped up there. Just like so. Let's add our sentiment. Warm winter wishes right in the center. And I still have some leftover twine here. I'm going to wrap it underneath the twine that's on the card already. I'm just going to push it underneath there. And I might use my scissors just to get it underneath a little easier. There we go. And I'm going to tie just a simple knot. But whenever I tie a knot, I like to add just a little drop of glue or adhesive where I'm tying that knot, and it's just going to hold it into place and keep the knot right where you want it. Just one simple knot, nothing more. Tighten that up. And then I'm just going to trim the excess a little bit. And then when I'm using twine, I take those little frayed ends, or the little ends of the twine, and I fray them. That's what I was trying to say. I like to fray them a little bit. It makes them a little like fluffier, and they take up a little more space. And you see how that adds the perfect little texture to the card? Okay, the last thing we've got to do here is to glue down our snowman peeker. And you can use tape runner or easy tear tape to stick items down to the shaker covers, or you can use your liquid adhesive. Just keep in mind, if you use the liquid adhesive, it's going to take a little longer to dry because of that non-porous slick surface. And here is our card. So fun. Gotta shake it up, right? I love it. How cute is that? That little snowman peeking around. We've got warm winter wishes, and then the elements of foil added with these sparkly sequins. It needs nothing more. And then I love how the twine just kind of ties it all together over here, but adds that little extra texture that you sometimes need with your cards, so they're not so flat and just paper. I've got another piece of that beautiful satin aqua foil. I've got another A2 side folding card. This is the foilable panel that we're going to foil with that satin aqua. This is our snowflake frames, and this is the reverse image, so the background will foil instead of the snowflakes. They're going to remain white. So I am going to just dust this off lightly with our foil dusting brush. I'm going to add our satin aqua foil to the top of it, pretty side up. We'll put that in the transfer folder and run it through that mini ink machine. This is our little snowman peeker. Look how cute he is, peeking over the top of something. We've got a sentiment. It says, "Thanks so much." I love that. This is from our Snowfall Foilables cut-ups. It's already pre-cut into this cool little label shape for you. And we're going to foil this with our Satin Sage. It's another satin foil. It's a beautiful green, and I think it goes nicely with the blues and greens in our pattern paper from our Cozy Winter paper pad. We'll remove our foilable panel, let it cool off, and foil our sentiment. I'm just going to flip this over and make sure this is where we want it, and run it through the ink. This time I've got a strip of our glitter paper. So this is from our Neutrals glitter paper pack. It's a beautiful white. Has a little iridescent shine to it, very pretty. Die cuts beautifully, the glitter does not flake off. And to that we're going to add a strip of that beautiful plaid from the Cozy Winter paper pad. Anytime you're adhering something to a glitter paper, because that glitter paper has texture to it, you want to use a nice strong adhesive. Liquid adhesive works wonderfully. We'll just glue that strip down to the center. This is about a 2-inch strip of the plaid and a 2¼ inch strip of the white glitter paper. Take out our sentiment. I believe our panel is cool, so we can do the peel and reveal. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And don't forget, you have a pattern in your foil that you can use on a solid printed toner sheet. We have lots of colors available, even white and silver, that you can add those negative foil images to. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? That is our card panel. We're going to add to the card. Let's peel and reveal our sentiment. Look at that. Thanks so much. Again, you can use that negative foil image. And it's just got a really pretty, these satin foils almost have an enamel finish to them. They're not overly metallic shiny. They're just really pretty. And there's nowhere else you can get that kind of finish. They're very unique to us, our satin foils. So let's go ahead and glue the snowflake frame panel down to the card base. Our foilable panels come 4 by 5¼ so they fit right within an A2 size card. We also have foilable sheets that come 8½ by 5½, so you can cut those in half and they'll be the size of an A2 card panel. The snowflake frame foilable panels are great because they have this open center here with the snowflakes going around them. So you can put your sentiment here, you can put your images here, whatever you want to be the focal point, you could put there in the center of the card. We're actually going to cover it up for this card with our plaid strip. So then it looks like we've just got snowflakes up and down the side of the card. So let's glue down our glitter and plaid strip to the center. And I cut this to be 5¼ inches long, so it's the same height as our card panel. And here's our card panel so far. Love that foil in the background. So pretty. So my idea with this card is super simple and easy. I'm going to glue our thanks so much right there in the center towards the bottom. And then I'm just going to have our little snowman peeking right over that sentiment. So cute. I think I'm going to use some foam tape that I cut before to pop the snowman up a little bit for some added dimension. But we'll adhere the sentiment directly to the card. Let's take off this release paper and add our little peeker. There we go. He kind of fits perfectly right over that thanks. Thanks so much. Love that glitz of the foil in the background, but not too metallic and shiny. It's that satin enamel finish. And the sentiment also just has that shine. People will wonder how you did it. I think I'll add a few of our sticky gems to this one. Again, these are our mother of pearl sticky gems. They have a beautiful iridescent finish. There we go. Love it. Another fun card with the snowman peekers. For our last card, we are going to use the Snowflake frame negative foil piece that we just used on our other card. And we're going to foil a solid toner sheet. We're going to use our silver toner sheets. We are the only ones that have silver toner sheets, so it's very unique to us. It just gives really cool results. It's not super metallic silver. It's kind of a matte silver finish, but with a little bit of shine. It's perfect for this snowflake frame piece that we're doing. I'm going to lay the foil pretty side up, but I'm going to flip it over to the back because I can see where I'm placing my toner sheet on that foil pattern a little bit better on the back. So then we'll run it through the ink machine. I did not dust that off first, so hopefully we will be okay. Usually you are. It just helps if there's any dust or debris on your foilable panel. I've cut out from our dress shop cardstock, which is pretty pink, a scalloped rectangle. I'm going to glue that down to the card base first while our foilable runs through. I think our scallop rectangle dies are the dies I use. I grab the most in my card making. I love that small little scallop. You'll see me use it in multiple videos. I just love the look of that little scallop around the paper that you add on top of it. So let's take this piece out to cool off. I was going to say to dry, but it's not to dry, it's to cool off. Let's take it out to dry. And let's foil our sentiment. I've got another sentiment from our Snowfall foilable cut-ups. This is Winter Greetings. Sometimes with the small cut-ups, I can just lightly run my thumb across them to remove any dust or debris, or you can use the foiling brush. You don't want to touch them too much with your hands and get the oils from your fingers and such, but if you lightly brush your finger across, you can remove any dust or debris from it. So we'll let that foil, and then let's take a look at what else we have. So I've got a piece of plaid from our Year Rounds Plaid Set 2 paper pack. It's this pretty pink and teal piece, and I'm going to layer that on top of another piece of our white holographic cardstock. Super pretty. So you're just going to see a little edge border of that peeking through, but it just gives a little extra sparkle. Our foilable piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So my strips here are about 1 1/2 by 3 3/4 for the plaid, and then 1 3/4 by 3 3/4 for the white holographic cardstock. Pull out our sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and turn the ink machine off in the back. We're done with our foiling. I'm going to let this cool and then peel and reveal. And it's gorgeous. Look at that. Fairy Wings Silver Winter Greetings. I used the Fairy Wings Silver. I thought it would go nicely with the silver toner sheet that we are putting our negative foil on. So let's peel that. Oh, look how pretty. So this is that satin aqua on top of our silver toner sheet. Look how gorgeous that is. It looks great with that little pop of pink behind it. So let's glue this down. Here's our card so far. Got that foiled toner sheet. So I'm going to put our plaid and white holographic piece across there. So we're kind of covering up that center that doesn't have snowflakes. And then our peeker is going to go right on top of that strip there. So let's go ahead and glue this down. I'm going to grab a little bit more of our foam tape because I want to pop up the sentiment and also pop up our little snowman peeker. I've got a small piece from before. Okay. All right, let's play around with where we want everything. I've got my peeking snowman, and I'm going to put my sentiment kind of off over to the right there. All right, and I think to finish this card off, I'm going to add some more of our sticky gems, but this time I'm going to use the silver instead of the mother of pearl, since we have that nice silver in the background. Here's our last card. I love it. I love the foiled elements, that adorable snowman peeker, and everything coordinates. We've got pink, teal, and silver as our main colors here with hints of white. Loving this card. So let's take a moment to look back through the 4 cards that I created. I hope they inspire you to pull out your foilables and your snowman peekers, your shaker covers, and create some beautiful yet stinking cute with these little snowman peeker cards. And just look, you can change your colors up and get a whole different look. Thanks again for joining me. You can find all these products and more at pinkandmain.com or ask your local retailer. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.